I open the public bond hearing and on the bonds and the budgets at 5:30 p.m. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read each one and then we'll open it up for public participation. So notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, February 5th and 12th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. for the purpose of a proposed warrant article to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $355,000 for the purchase of a fire department E1 rescue truck and to authorize the withdrawal of $175,000 from the fire truck capital reserve account created for that purpose. Further, to authorize issuance of not more than $180,000 of bonds, notes, or lease agreements in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA Chapter 33, and to authorize the Select Board to issue and negotiate such bonds, notes, or lease agreements and to determine the rate of interest thereon, and further to authorize the Select Board to apply for, accept, and expend federal, state, or other aid, if any, including principal forgiveness, which may become available for this project, and to comply with all laws applicable to such project, and further to authorize the Select Board to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. Payments begin in 2027. 3/5 vote, ballot vote required. Polls must remain open for 1 hour. And I open it to public participation. Questions? Yep.
If you want people, so everybody can. This is just a question, reviewing all of it and taking a look at the trust fund balances. I'm just asking you to read along with me. I'm just going to read this.
Is this regarding the truck?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the amounts that I mentioned now are those that I could gather from town reports. Capital and expendable trusts ending balance for the year 2023, which would then become the beginning balance for 2024, is $2,273,574. That amount is a 99.97% increase over the 2018 balance of capital reserve funds. The warrant articles for 2024 raise and appropriate the funds total $621,000. So for the year 2024, there were $2,894,574. The $180,000 proposed to be financed is 6% of that total. It seems like not a significant amount. I do not know the appropriations for 2025, but if they were to remain at $621,000 for 2025, the $180,000 to be financed is 28.9% of that amount. I'm only asking over the next week with both committees give consideration to reducing proportionally or otherwise the 2025 appropriations to all other expendable and capital trust funds by approximately 30%, and applying that amount to complete the $355,000 without finance. it just seems that there's enough money that you wouldn't have to go into the current balances to move it around. It would simply be adjusting the appropriations for the current year. And there would be no financing involved.
Well, I think the other capital reserves are being funded for specific projects. Are you talking about pulling it from other? I'm not understanding.
Not pulling it from you. It
Not
would be
funding them?
reducing for 1 year.
And I think that will throw their capital outlay projects out as well, and you find yourself in the same boat. Because they're all saving for certain projects too, or for emergencies or whatever.
And so if you cut it short.
So if
this
you start
year,
cutting it
you'll have
short-
to put it in next year to recover. So if we have an outlet truck, so a truck, we know we need to put, or equipment, we have to put X amount of dollars in every year. So then when it comes to that point, in the other capital reserves, it pays for it. And if all of a sudden we cut, if there's 50,000 in a truck for highway department, and we cut that this year by 30,000, because we're gonna nickel and dime all the other ones to come up with the 180. Then next year, we're gonna have to appropriate that 50,000 plus another 30,000 to make sure that it's at the level it needs to be at by the time we're ready to purchase that vehicle.
And we're already saving, like these trucks are so expensive. We know we have to finance some of them, plus start saving for the next one in line, which is a ladder truck, and it's $1,000,000+.
Yes,
So,
but
I mean,
the purchase of this truck, the capital, I don't have it now, but there's not a lot in the capital reserve fund for the truck right now. Is that correct?
correct.
Under $100,000, I believe.
It's around, yes. So plus there are $75,000 appropriation for this year,
Here,
which will give them at least half to put down. And
Yeah.
that's the way, I mean, I don't.
yeah,
I agree, and I thank you for the opportunity to go back to my days of budgeting and analysis. It was fun to do this. It just seems that 6.2% is not that much.
We might,
Just,
maybe we'll get a better interest rate or,
hopefully.
thank
it's
you.
hard, thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Any other public participation? Playing with closing public participation on the first warrant article. Next up, notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, February 5th and 12th, 2025 at 5:30 PM for the purpose of a proposed warrant article to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1 million for the replacement of the town main water line in Lower Woodstock from the top of North Station Road to just south of South Station Road, along with Daniel Webster Highway Route 3. And to authorize the withdrawal of $200,000 from the Water Department Capital Reserve account created for that purpose. Further, to authorize the issuance of not more than $800,000 of bonds, notes, or lease agreements in accordance with the provision of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA, Chapter 33, and to authorize the Select Board to issue and negotiate such bonds, notes, or lease agreements and to determine the rate of interest thereupon, and further to authorize the Select Board to apply for, accept, and expend federal, state, or other aid, if any, including principal forgiveness, which may become available for this project, and to comply with all laws applicable to such project, and further to authorize the Select Board to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. Payments begin in 2026. 3/5 ballot vote required. Polls must remain open for 1 hour. I open this up to public participation. Any questions? Concerns?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if I had it going on, I just wanted to make sure.
Budget.
As there is no comments or concerns, I'm closing the public participation on the second. On to the third one. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, February 5th and 12th, 2025 at 5:30 PM for the purpose of a proposed warrant article to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1 million for the replacement of lead pipes in the drinking water system as mandated by federal lead and copper rule improvements, LCRI, and to authorize the withdrawal of $50,000 from the Water Department Capital Reserve account created for that purpose. Further, to authorize the selectmen to borrow not more than $950,000 from the lead service line SRF program in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RS Chapter 33, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to apply for, accept, and expend any grants, including loan forgiveness, available for this purpose, and further to authorize the Select Board to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. The loan covers service line identification, non-construction work like potholing, staff time, hiring consultant, and replacement of lead GRR service lines. This is a low-interest loan with approximately 70% principal forgiveness. 3/5 ballot vote required. Polls must remain open for 1 hour. I open public participation on this proposed article. No questions or concerns? I close public participation on the warrant article. And the third one, the fourth one. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, February 5th and 12th, 2025 at 5:30 PM for the purpose of a proposed warrant article to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $55,000 for a sewer collection assessment through the NHDES Clean Water State Revolving Fund Program. The proposed project is to CCTV inspect approximately 20,000 linear feet of service sewer main and to authorize the issuance of not more than $55,000 of bonds, notes, or lease agreements in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA, Chapter 33, and to authorize the Select Board to issue and negotiate such bonds, notes, or lease agreements and to determine the rate of interest thereon, and further to authorize the Select Board to apply for, accept, and expend federal, state, or other aid, if any, including principal forgiveness, which may become available for this project, and to comply with all laws applicable to such project, and to further to authorize the Select Board to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. This is an NHDES loan with 100% principal forgiveness. 3/5 ballot vote required. Polls must remain open for 1 hour. I open up this to public participation. Okay, as long as there's no questions or concerns, I'm gonna close public participation on the fourth warrant article.
I don't see any hands, don't pick it.
Anything else that anyone would like to talk about? I open up for review of the 2025 warrant. I believe you have copies for
I
it.
do, yep.
There's copies here at the front if you'd like to come get them.
No, nope. We just have to make sure we read the bonds.
I think this is my water, but because I was getting thirsty for it.
We need to vote on her.
You should, make sure that Article 5, you guys vote to amend the warrant to add, because it's in your last meeting, and then to increase your revenue and expenditures, or your appropriations by the 55,000.
So I'll open the selectmen's portion of this. And I make a motion to amend the warrant article of, with the addition of the CCTV inspect sewer main in the amount of $55,000, which will affect the revenue of the operating budget by $55,000 as well,
And the appropriation.
in the appropriation. Do I have a second? Gail? All those in favor? Aye. Oh no, close. The selectmen portion of the warrant.
No, I do the same thing.
You have to do something. Okay.
So we need to vote to amend the budget by 55,000 to cover the CCTV inspector sewer main. And the bottom line will be affected by 55,000. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. And we would like to amend the warrant to include Article 5, CCTV inspect sewer main. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And just so you guys know, it didn't impact your bottom line of taxes to be raised. It stayed the same as last week. It was just money.
It's just
for
money.
wash.
Yeah,
Just so-
because it's 100%.
That didn't
that's
change
what-
the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a neutral.
Do you have any questions from the public?
Will's usually good at proofreading these, so this is good.
Somewhere.
He will, I will,
No,
no.
No,
No,
we
no, I
rely
rely on you.
on, no,
No,
we
no, it's a
rely
good
on you to
thing.
find the typos. Come on, that's,
Usually that's left to me.
I'd rather
No,
fix
no.
it now.
well, it's not left to me.
Has this been posted to the website? for-
Yep. I just actually, reloaded the new version.
Okay, great.
Oh,
What page
yeah,
you on, Bill?
we're on Article 6,
Mm-hmm.
the last sentence. I tried today, I can't make that work.
This amount does not include any articles voted separately.
Yes, what are articles voted?
Your capital reserve articles.
So all of the capital reserve articles.
Are separate from this amount. It's not included in
So the
this
total
5
amount to run the town.
is this
This
plus
line
all of it,
plus all the others.
right? So if you go to the back of the 737 on page 13 of this, you'll see where we come in with the operating, and then you bring the special articles in.
Yeah, that's-
There's your, that should be articles 6. These should be your special articles. So this should be our total appropriation, and this should be the revenue we're bringing in. And then this is what it was different from last year.
Let us know if you have any questions
You all set?
or
You're fine
concerns.
with it? You can email me if you find something to get.
We don't vote on the warrant, I know something next week, right?
No.
Huh?
Well, you guys have already voted
Right.
to accept what it is.
Right.
You would only be voting if it's in DRA's hands right now.
Right, I didn't even know warrant. I mean, the MS 37, we have to wait until next week's public hearing.
You mean the bottom, when you guys do the back page?
Any questions or concerns?
Sure, I'll ask one more.
Sure.
Page 5 of 6 at the top. The difference between capital reserve trust fund and expendable trust fund.
Gosh, I know this too. Um. I will have to get back to you.
It's no rush.
I know it, I
No
just
rush.
can't think of it right now, There is a difference and it requires like the attorney general approves them and
Really?
expendable trusts, yeah.
Is it because it's the library?
No, the fire department is issued as a, I believe is a trust too. Um. Just on all their, it's pretty much how they're set up and like the fire department, I can't find it right now.
Isn't it the fire department's, personal?
It's where they can accept, yeah, they can
The
accept.
fundraising one.
Yes, and they can expend from it.
So an expendable trust can be used for a wider range of designated purposes, often including both principal and interest. While capital reserve is typically used for large one-time capital expenditures. Infrastructure improvements is what the internet does.
Sounds good.
That's what AI tells us.
Yes, works for me.
Just know that the expendable trusts, I have to send them through the AG's office, whereas capital reserves, I don't, the selectmen can create them, the town government votes on them and their agents. I don't really know, they operate the same, honestly.
Mhm.
I will find that out for you.
Do we have anything else to come before this meeting? Do you have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second?
Oh, did you wanna review the MS 737?
We did that last week.
You better do it in a public hearing, you better,
Oh, we'll just vote on it next week.
you vote, yeah,
We
you'll,
already voted on it.
you voted on it, you'll vote, this last page. You voted the line items to send it off to DRA.
Yep.
And then you guys will come back and vote this page. Just because really it's in their hands right now, they might rearrange, tweak something.
Page 13.
Yeah, you'll vote on page 30.
So do I need to go over the whole thing now? Do
No, they could just ask questions if they had questions relating to it.
you have any questions for the MS 737? Do you have a copy?
Right on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
You're looking, page 13 kind of summarizes it. Broken out operating budget, special warrant articles. Total appropriations and revenue. That's on page 13. Questions? Concerns? Question?
Yes, good evening. This is Mike Donahue. I've got couple questions I'd like to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, my first one, Roberta, is on the on the capital reserve for the highway maintenance. Can you tell me how much is in that account?
One moment. $66,021.44.
Okay, and you're appropriating this year 75,000. Can you tell me what those funds are earmarked for?
They're earmarked for emergency.
Just all emergency?
Yes.
Okay, I guess my question is, last year, you appropriated $15,000 for wall replacement by Soldiers Park, the rock wall beside the road there. There was 15,000 appropriated for that. So I guess my question is no money's being put towards that any further, or?
That is part of it. That is part of the 75,000.
That's part of the 75,000.
So, okay, so you're considering that an emergency, or?
No, it's 15,000 is marked for that, 60,000 for the other.
15,000 is earmarked for that and 60,000 for emergencies.
Okay, I guess my question is probably more towards the selectmen. I guess I'm wondering why they feel that wall needs to be replaced. I went and looked at it this summer. There's no bulging, no cracking, no settling. There's a few rocks that got knocked out over the years, a few cracks that need to be mortared up. But and last year I watched it when it got presented for the first time. It kind of, got presented at a budget hearing, and it kind of took the selectmen by surprise when they asked them about funding it. I guess I'm just wondering who determined and how they determined that it needs to be replaced, because it's going to be a lot of money to replace that wall. And I just, like I said, I don't see where it's bulging, swelling, sinking, cracking. This summer they power washed it, made it look a lot better, but just needs to go a little further and be mortared back up, get the moss off the top of the wall so that it ain't retaining moisture, and then oil it up. And I think it would last you a long, long time. Like I said, I think these questions are probably more directed towards the selectmen.
So there are some minor cracking and settling and moving of the rocks going on, and this is putting 15,000. Of course, 15,000 is not gonna cover the cost of replacing that whole wall, but
No,
it is savings that, we're starting to save towards it so that we're not being impacted by several $1,000s right at once. So we can put a little money away each time at it, wouldn't it be, it's more beneficial in our opinion.
no, I agree with you, Cheryl. It's good to plan and good to have a fund for it, but I guess I'm just concerned that once you get a little bit of money in there, they ain't just gonna rush out and happen. I think a little bit of money should be spent on maintenance, and I think that wall is gonna last a long time. I'm not opposed to putting money away so that someday something, if it needs it, it could happen. But that's why I was asking what it was based on, why all of a sudden it came up last year.
Yep, it's certainly that 15,000 as earmarked for what, maintenance of that wall. We can use it towards doing
Absolutely.
some other additional things that can help secure it and maybe make it last longer.
Okay, no, that's all. And then I had a question on the $40,000 you're proposing for the sidewalk going up under the underpasses there towards Lincoln. What is that scope of work? Is it just overlaying an inch on top of what's there, or what are you up to on that project? Do you know?
pavement that's there now, we'll pull it, because it's cracked, it's a
Right.
mess. There's a lot of bad spots in it, so we're gonna pull the pavement and smooth it out. And repave it.
repave
Yeah,
it.
I can't hear you, Mike.
So the pavement's going to be pulled and relayed. And that's, that's a walking path that's used quite often. I mean, you see people on it even in the dead of winter.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm just asking what the scope of work is. You know, so you're gonna rip up what's there and put down all new.
Correct.
Okay, no, just wanted to know. Um, Then on the EV charging system, you think, $110,000, you're getting 80% grant, so that's leaving it $22,000 for the taxpayers to fund. Do you know what the ROI is on that $22,000?
The idea would be that we will collect fees, and you can add a percentage of those, a percent to those fees to cover your cost of electric and your cost of, building them, installing them. I could tell you today, I plugged into a charger for less than an hour down in Concord, and it was the same thing, a level 1 level 2
It's a level 2.
level 2 charger. And for the hour I was plugged into it, it cost me $15 thereabouts. So
Yeah. So you've looked at, do you think that it's gonna take a year to pay back that, and then after that, it's,
you can't, the way these grants are written, you can't obtain your costs back in 1 year. I think it has to be across 3 to 5
3 to
years.
5 years.
okay? How about the maintenance of it? Does the taxpayers responsible for the maintenance of that from day one forward? And do you have a projection of what that would be per year?
We are. And we do not have a projection right now.
But hopefully when we get going, the
Well,
maintenance will be covered by the,
How is the maintenance been, the maintenance costs on yours at your inn then?
no, I've had it for 8 or 9 years, it's been none.
Okay.
Okay. And probably my last question is paving of roads. Do you have a 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, whatever? Is there a written plan in place for paving of roads in town?
We took a ride this fall with the town engineer and we drove all of the town roads and we have created, we've kind of gotten handwritten. We have not had the time since when we rode around with that individual, take that handwritten document and put it into an actual written plan per se, or document that lives to be changed. But our goal is this thing slow down to transfer that into a computer Excel spreadsheet of what sorts, and to lay out a plan moving forward. As of right now, our engineer has reported that the roads are all in great condition.
Okay, and I guess that's what my question.
Reasonable,
Not
reasonable condition.
reasonable, there's nothing.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
Well,
great,
actually,
Not great,
reasonable.
they're reasonable.
5 and 10.
okay, I'm looking at the minutes from when you did that, and his words in the minutes says that they are generally in good shape.
Right,
Okay,
reasonable.
reasonable
Yeah,
shape, good shape.
Generally
Exactly.
good shape. I guess my question is, I understand you want to maintain, I'm all for maintaining roads and stuff, but you got to have a plan. You got to, and it just seems to me that we're getting to the point now where we're every year just, we got to pave something, got to pave something. Of course, I haven't driven up, what is it, Bell Street that you're looking to do? Haven't been up there for a few months, but geez, I didn't really think that road was in that bad a shape. You got a spot, like you said, at one of your January 22nd meeting, that in front of Charlie Wishatch there's a spot, then down on the corner there's a spot. Both of them are from, I assume, water breaks. But the rest of the road, to me, boy, it didn't look that bad. And I guess it just leads into more planning. You got this lead and copper thing coming. Are you 100% sure that there's no lead services up there that go out into the main, that now you overlay the road and find out you got lead service, we're gonna have to dig the road up again?
check it before we do the payment, for
Just like
sure.
we did
Right.
State Street.
just like we did with, most recent street.
But now we have some money, hopefully have town meeting that will be able to really do a thorough job on these services and see what's really out there.
Yeah, but I guess I'm questioning the condition of the rest of Bell Street. Is it really in that bad a shape that it needs to be paved right now?
Right. Some of that is preventative.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops.
Any more questions? Bill?
Mike brought it up, with the EVs and the reverter. I don't know what portion of the parking lot is that Sanborn gave that it would revert. Are you confident that these EVs do not conflict with that reverter? Similar to the one at the fire station.
Right.
It looks like it shouldn't be because what Sanborn gave, I'm not even going to say it's not even a half acre, I don't believe. It seems to be considerably smaller than what is there. And I don't know if an EV charging station.
What are we talking about?
The municipal lot, the
Yeah.
reverter on that, behind Truman's, right?
Yes.
There's a reverter clause on that.
Oh, yes, okay, sorry.
That's the blue.
We do.
It's
I
like-
was
it's
thinking
a little
of-
confused,
I was thinking
like-
something to do with charging
Yeah.
or something, I'm like,
And to,
No,
and to be
reverse-
honest with you, there's a good chance this money's gonna disappear.
May not be
It
available.
may not be available.
And if it's not available, we're not
We're
gonna
not
go
gonna
for it.
do it.
If we don't get the grant money, we're not
We're
going
not
for
gonna
it.
do it.
I'm not looking to stop it, I'm looking to prevent maybe an embarrassment or a legal issue on it. Because I can't position the small piece of land that Sanborn gave. It doesn't, it mentions nothing going along the Conewassett River.
So we can look at that though.
It's like looking at this calendar up here, and it's the month of July. It seems to be a small portion of the park. And
I'm-
We'll run it
it
through.
would just be peace
We'll
of
run it
mind,
through.
it would seem to me.
We're running through the.
Right. As we get closer and we know that we're
Spend
gonna get the
money,
grant,
sure.
we'll run it before legal, before we accept the grant.
Get you the booking page.
Decent chance of this money may disappear.
Right. It's not worth investing with legal until we know for sure that we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that extension was only for a month, wasn't it? Didn't the court just,
Yeah, we don't know. We have no idea
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. Let's
Yeah.
face it. We're gonna let-
Leave it.
yeah,
Any other questions, concerns?
Just one question, when you, look at the, Bell Street for repaving, did you also look at Mitchell Street? Oh, it's a little street, but it's, rapidly falling apart.
I don't think we wrote down that one.
No, I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either.
So
Right.
we can circle back on that one this
We'll
week.
circle back on that.
It's off of Bell Street,
Yeah.
right next to.
Yeah, I don't, we
Charlie
didn't
Bush.
write down that one.
We can
It
circle
goes
back
up.
with the engineer in the spring.
I thought we had every.
Spring, summer.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for mentioning it. Any other business to come before this meeting?
Nicest driveway.
If there isn't, do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Thank you all for coming.
Don't forget, we have one more next week.
Parading around my house tonight, saying, the last one, she's gonna take the iPad from me.